This is a special job. This is a special thing I'm doing, and to not take it lightly, to put effort and love into it every time I show up. My name is Erika and Dely. I own Luved Photography, and this is our legacy. I started in photography because I was going to school. I thought I wanted to be a teacher. It just kind of seemed like the thing that was kind of meant for me my whole life. And then while I was going to school to get my bachelor's degree, I started working at a photography studio. And so I started just as a receptionist, just making appointments. And then eventually they taught me how to do a little bit of editing and album design. And then just little tasks kind of grew and grew until one of my bosses invited me to his son's wedding. And when he did, I got there and he put a camera in my hand and just said, "You're gonna take pictures." And so once he did that, it was almost just like something clicked in me, something changed, and I fell in love with it. I married a Mormon and we lived in Utah. It didn't go as planned at all. So I left there and I moved back to Chicago. We tried to make it work for a couple years, but ultimately it did not. So I lived here. I got my master's degree in education. And then once he left, I was just kind of here alone doing the teaching thing that didn't feel right. And I truly believe that things that you need just kind of show up in your life when it's necessary. And I just feel like I knew education wasn't really the route. I just felt deep down that wasn't what I was meant for. It was something else. But I needed a job, and I had gotten familiar with photography in Utah, so I just kind of started doing that for family and friends. And back then is when Craigslist was big, doing the gig thing. So I did that, and it just kind of all happened very organically at the right time. Luved Photography started just in my parents' basement. After I got divorced, I moved back with them. For a while, I did some traveling and I went and took a ton of photos throughout Europe. I had done a lot of stuff for family and friends around Chicago, and I just felt I need to make this a real thing. How am I gonna do it? So in order to expand the portrait side of it, I did a Groupon, and I didn't know what I was doing, but somehow it all worked out for me. Some of the clients that I met doing a Groupon are still clients that I have today. And then I also threw a really big gallery showing where I just invited everybody I knew and displayed a lot of my photos. And the name of the show was I Am Luved. And so many more people showed up than I ever would have thought. And it made me realize that people are rooting for me in this. People are showing up. People are excited about it. And it just gave me that little boost to be like, no, I can do this. And since then, I've honestly had a marketing budget of $0. I haven't had to advertise. There've been a few things I've done here and there just to kind of put my name out there a little bit more. But in terms of staying booked, I haven't had to really do anything because it's just been all word of mouth. So once I saw, okay, I can stay booked doing this, then I knew, okay, I think I can do this. I've kept my business small because one, I'm a control freak. Two, I like the personality of it. I work alone, which can be lonely, but the fact that I get to know people on such a personal level is really fun. I also love that because I work alone and it is small, I get to be involved in so many aspects of planning the photo shoot. So I can help them with their clothing, which kind of feeds my need to be in fashion a little bit, and I can plan where in their house we're gonna do it, which kind of feeds my need to do interior decor. There's so many things that I love that I don't do and I never followed through with in the past, but I get to do them doing this. And I love that. Running my own business is scary, but very rewarding. It is just me. So if I'm sick or if a parent needs help or anything comes up, it's not like I could just call in sick. I've gotten in car accidents the morning of a wedding, and I still go to the wedding. The stories are crazy. The number of tires I've blown before a shoot, and I find a way to get there. It's just always, if anything goes awry in your day, it's still on me, I feel like, to make it happen and to show up and be happy and make them have those moments that are going to photograph perfectly. And sometimes that can just get to you, because if you do get in a car accident, sometimes you want a break, or you want to take a day off if you're sick and you can't move or you just don't feel good, but you can't. giving myself just the freedom to kind of live a life as I want to, as I see fit. It's also rewarding because I get to see everybody's best moments. You know, I get to be there for people's weddings. I get to be there for baptisms. I get to be there for first birthdays. And kind of on the flip side, my specific business is that you are front and center to everybody's moments. And if you don't have those moments in your own life, it can make it hard. I've been divorced twice, so going to weddings every weekend can be really hard. I don't have kids and thought I would, so going to newborn shoots constantly could be really hard. Every time I show up to a shoot, most people, if they don't know me, they're like, do you have kids? No. I get a question like that almost every shoot. And so it is hard to kind of face that every single time. I think a lot of times people can go to work and most people know their behind the scenes situation or know if they're married or divorced or whatever. But I'm meeting, you know, on a Saturday in fall, I'm meeting 7 new families who are asking me, do you have kids? So you're always confronted with like that inner desire to have that. You shouldn't take personally, but it's hard not to sometimes because you really want those things in your life and you don't. Things have happened to where that hasn't worked out for you. But I know there's also so many people that wish they could have their own business or wish they could do other things. So I've learned to not let it affect me as much and to just show up and be present and be happy for them because my time will come. It's not as easy every day, but I try. So I decided to start the process to adopt. It could take a couple years. It could not take a couple years. It just depends how things go and a lot of little, you know, nuances. But if that were to be successful, I can't work how I'm working now. I wouldn't be able to. I have a 4-pound dog that I can't even take care of because I'm so busy. So I couldn't raise a kid doing it this way. So in order to be able to make that dream of mine successful, I need to change how I work. And I need to make my life less about my business and more about myself and give myself the opportunity to have what everybody else has that I work with. If I do end up adopting, life will change, my business will change, I will change. I'm most proud that I have kept it running and kept it going pretty seamlessly while just going through a lot of shit in my life. Online, it looks perfect, but behind the scenes has been really hard. I've been through 2 marriages. I've had some really wild medical issues, which I don't need to explain all of the details, but they put me in a position where sometimes it was hard to move. It was hard to walk. But somehow when I'm photographing, any pain that I've had from like, let's say my marriages or just life or even physical pain just somehow like go away. And so I think, you know, having so many medical issues and people not knowing what I was going through while I was at their shoot behind the camera, like, yeah, I was in pain, but there was a way I could shut it off. So it's almost like, in a way, even when I didn't feel like I could live anymore and I didn't want to, it still just kind of added that life to me that like I originally felt when like a camera was put in my hand, and it just like just physical pain I went through. And it just kind of in a way almost helped me that way too, which sounds so stupid. But like whenever a camera's in my hand, it's just like my body, whether it's physical or it's mental or anything, just everything gets better. Whether you believe in like God or the universe or whatever, I just feel like somebody like took this work and this business and put it in my lap and just said, this is gonna save you. This is gonna get you through. All of those little kids that you don't know, they're gonna get you through. Their smile, their laugh, like that's gonna get you through. And that's where I'm at right now, and it has gotten me through. And I feel a shift where like things are getting so much better for me. And it's because I've had this to rely on, to support me, to get me through all of the hard times. And I want to capture it how it is now because I love it. And it encompasses so much more of my life than it should, but like, I'm okay with that, and I'm happy about it, and I'm lucky because so many people don't succeed as I have. And I've never given myself the credit of what I've done. And I just want to do that once for myself and just honor where I've gotten to. And if it has to change a ton, at least I've remembered like where I was at this point.